So it has been a wild weekend, and we have two stacks here. We have a stack of online pickups, and we have a stack of in-store pickups. And I'm going to go through both of them with you, and then just kind of share my thoughts on which one fared better. And obviously, this is going to vary from week to week, depending on what's available, what finds I'm able to come across, whether it be online or in-store. And sometimes it just varies, right? Obviously, when you make purchases online, you're taking the risk that they may not come in the greatest condition. And as you probably can already tell, I suffered some casualties. But let's get into it. So the first online pickup that we have here is this copy of Mario Golf Advanced Tour. Now, I'm a fan of these 2D golf games. For those of you who may have heard of this game, Golf Story, it's a Switch game. I'd always been into golf games, like going all the way back to like Cyber Tiger. My old school folks will know what that's about. I played Cyber Tiger on the PlayStation 1. I had it on PSP. I've just always been a fan of golf games. And then I played Golf Story, and Golf Story really kind of got me into like these 2D golf games. And so when I saw Mario Golf Advanced Tour on the GBA, I definitely wanted to grab it. They had this copy online, and so I went ahead and snagged it. This is a very clean label, so I was glad to get this one. This one will definitely be staying in the collection. I took a chance and ordered this copy of Gargoyles for the Genesis. I remember having a loose cart of Gargoyles in my earlier collection, so I wasn't opposed to having a loose cart of Gargoyles, just because it's really hard to find a clean, complete in-box copy of Gargoyles, like an original copy for the Sega Genesis. It's just tough to find. So I had hoped that this loose cart would have at least been in good condition, because then it would have stayed in the collection. But this just looked like it suffered all kinds of damage. This looks like a cartridge that's honestly been thrown in the washing machine, and then the label just got destroyed. Either that or it was just left out in the rain. I don't know what happened with this copy of Gargoyles, but this is not staying in the collection, so this one will go. Then we have The Adventures of Batman and Robin. Now, I did have this game complete in box, a super clean copy in my original collection. One of the ones that I wish I never let go of, just because finding this one complete in box can be tough. Took a chance on it, hoped that if the loose cart was, just like Gargoyles, if the cart would have been clean, it probably would have stayed in the collection. But GameStop sells this for pretty much what it goes for, like in the open market. And so I'm pretty sure I could get a cleaner version of this loose cart on eBay at the same price, if not cheaper. So in this case, it just wasn't worth to keep, so I will be returning that one. And then we have Alien Storm. So I did have a complete in-box copy of Alien Storm in my original collection, and sometimes I've had luck. Sometimes GameStop will send you these Genesis games in the case, or sometimes even complete in box. I've gotten Outrun for the Sega Genesis complete, not complete, I think it was just boxed. So I got that from online, and then I did get a complete in box copy of Gunstar Heroes. So I have had luck, and I just took a chance on this one. Unfortunately, the cart does have some damage, and obviously it doesn't have the box or the manual. So this one will probably be a return, but it was, it was a risk. It was a gamble, and so you win some, you lose some. Keeping in line with the PS3 pickups that I've been getting lately, I did get this copy of Enslaved on the PlayStation 3. This was a game that I did have in my original PS3 collection, so I'm just adding it back. And again, this does seem like one of those games that in like 2 months you look up and it goes from being like $4 to like $30 or $50, something stupid. So I went ahead and grabbed this one while it was still cheap, and so added this one. I am glad that it did come with the cover art and the manual. The cover art and the manual are in good condition. It's just in a pretty beat up case. So this will just be a case swap, and this will be as good as, not as good as new, but in decent condition. So these were the online pickups. Now let's talk about what we were able to find in store, because the in-store stuff was pretty good. So first, we found this copy of Jet Force Gemini. I tried ordering a copy of Jet Force Gemini online, and the copy that I got was just in really bad shape. But this one is actually in really good shape. So picked up this copy of Jet Force Gemini for the N64, slowly building, onto the N64 collection. Many of you know I came across that huge complete in box and sealed lot of N64 games. And so I just slowly add to that N64 collection as I come across them. So this one was a pretty cool pickup. Grab that. Oh, this one should not be in this pile because this was actually an online pickup, so my bad on that. But Alien versus Predator on the Super Nintendo. This is a mid beat 'em up for the Super Nintendo. In terms of gameplay, I put this game alongside games like Batman Returns on the Super Nintendo, or maybe even like X-Men Mutant Academy. X-Men Mutant Academy is probably one tier above this type of beat 'em up because it's closer to like War of the Gems, which in my opinion is on the upper end of Super Nintendo side-scrolling beat 'em ups. But this game is decent nonetheless. You get a good variety of weapons you can use. You've got the spear, you've got what looks like, you know, an alien ninja star or batarang. You can use the cloaking device that kind of makes you invisible to enemies in this game. So it's a pretty cool little beat 'em up. Definitely one I wanted to add to the collection if it was going to be clean, and this one was pretty clean. So glad to add that one in there for sure. Then we came across these two PSP classics. So these were two that I had in my original PSP collection. So I'm really stoked to have added these back. Metal Slug XX. I think Limited Run re-released this for like the Vita and the PlayStation 4. I don't know if I got a PS5 release, but this is a classic Metal Slug game. So glad to add this one back. Both are complete in box. Getting this one for $37.99 is a pretty decent deal. Metal Slug XX is probably like a $50 to $60 game, maybe even more. So this one was actually, I'm really glad to get this one and play it. Dante's Inferno is a little gruesome. Now, the funny part is I did get Dante's Inferno, the Divine Edition on PlayStation 3, like earlier this week, but they had this one here for $29.99. Obviously, with the pro member discount, you get a little bit more off. But for some reason, when I was adding this into my GameEye, I'm seeing copies of this game at like $75, like between $75, $80, $85. I don't know if it has to do with like the PlayStation announcement or whatever, but this is a pretty expensive game. I think GameEye has it at like 50 something bucks or something, or maybe 60 bucks. But this game like got really expensive, and I'm not sure why in particular on the PSP. So if any of you guys know, let me know down in the comments, but was really glad to find both of these. Probably some of my favorite pickups of the weekend. And then moving right along, came across this bad boy, complete in box, not in the best shape, but it is the Godfather the Don's edition. I do not know why this game is ranging between $165 and 200 bucks. Like legitimately, this, I mean, the Don's edition was always an expensive PlayStation 3 game. So we're not gonna act like it went from like $5 to $200, because this game has always hovered around the $90 to $100 range. But with all the PS3 madness going on, this game is pretty much doubled. So now it's 200 bucks, and I was really shocked to see this sitting in a GameStop complete in box. So this was actually pretty cool to find. This is for sure going to be trade bait. I do already have a copy of the game, but trade bait, right? I'm going to take it and probably trade it in for some games that I actually need for the collection. And I don't go hunting particularly for trade bait, but if I come across it, I'm not going to like walk away from it. I will pick it up. So grab the Godfather. Blitz to the League. I had a loose disc of this game, so glad to get it boxed. This does not have the manual, which bums me out a little bit. I'm still on the hunt for the manual, but I'm going to be patient. I will complete this game. This is a decent enough cover art, so we will complete Blitz the League eventually, but was just kind of stoked to find this out in the wild. Picked both of those up yesterday. And then the nostalgia piece, right? The nostalgia pickup, Vegas Stakes complete in box. I would have loved for this to be nearly any other Super Nintendo game complete in box, but I'm not going to argue with it coming in at like $4.50. I'm not mad at it. I do have a couple of Super Nintendo games that utilize the mouse, so I want to get my hands on the Super Nintendo mouse and just experience that. I've never really experienced playing any games with the SNES mouse, so this was a pure nostalgia play. It's always interesting to find complete in box Super Nintendo games at like a GameStop and stuff. So saw this yesterday and went ahead and grabbed it. Been a pretty busy weekend. It's early Sunday mornings here in SoCal, so I think I could still do a little bit more damage. I've got some stuff to do because I got to prepare for the work week, but if I can sneak away and get maybe 30 minutes to kind of do some damage, I'll see what I can do. Of course, I'll take photos and let you guys know throughout the day. Yeah, let me know what you think, and I'll catch you in the next one. It's the Y2K Collector, and I've seen all the comments. I thank you all for your comments. I've been trying to dive in and and respond to some of the comments. It's just I am literally moving at light speed, trying to fit game collecting into life, kids, work, all of it. But I will take a second and just try to respond back to a bunch of the comments. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next one. So Y2K Collector, take it easy.